When I was 18 years old, a freshman in college, I visited my parents for the weekend. My mom sent me to the store to pick up some groceries for dinner. As she was ringing me up, the checkout lady looked at me and asked, "Are you married?" Married, I thought. I'm 18 years old. Marriage is the furthest thing from my mind. It turns out she was asking me because of my headscarf. We got into a good conversation, at the end of which she looked at me and she said, "Wow, you're just like a regular American teenager." I was a regular American teenager. So what about me was so surprising to her? She had a very specific idea of what a Muslim woman looked like, and I didn't fit it. What was that idea? These are images that come up when you search for Muslim women. This is the Muslim monolith. It's a visual monolith, but it's also accompanied by the idea that Muslim women, especially Muslim women who look like this, are submissive, repressed, and lack agency over their lives. This is certainly part of the picture. It's a reality for Muslim women across the world, Muslim women and non-Muslim women. But these images take one story and repeat them so often that it becomes the only story. This monolith doesn't reflect the women in my life, and it doesn't reflect me. So why does this monolith exist? Because throughout history, the lives and bodies of Muslim women have been politicized. We've been hypersexualized. Think of the Orientalist fantasy of the harem and the belly dancer. This exotification exists to this very day. As recently as this past Halloween, you could actually buy a sexy burqa costume. It consists of a face veil and a miniskirt. And how about all those celebrities who use Muslim women as a prop for their own publicity stunts? We've seen Rihanna lounging sexily in front of a mosque in Abu Dhabi. Lady Gaga had a song called Burqa, which she performed in a see-through burqa. And we've seen Lil' Kim grace the cover of a magazine wearing a face veil and very little else. But Muslim women have also been desexualized, as though what we wear extinguishes all human feelings of love and emotion. Seems like you can't pick up the newspaper without yet another article about Muslim women's clothing, as if this is the paramount issue impacting Muslim women around the world. These articles always have very original titles too, like Unveiled, or Behind the Veil, or Underneath the Veil, or My Veil and I. And there's always these sensational stories about lingerie or sex shops opening up in Muslim countries. The latest article was about this reports of a sex shop opening up in the holy city of Mecca. The report turned out to be false, but so what if it was true? Muslim women have sex, and Muslim women wear underwear. Meanwhile, the voices of Muslim women aren't being heard above those speaking on our behalf or about us. Take the Ukrainian feminist group Femen, who staged a topless jihad in front of a mosque in France, purportedly to support the rights of Muslim women. In the process, they insulted Muslim women who choose to cover and who view the mosque as a sacred space. Just this past year, we saw a panel on the Bill Maher show. 3 white men, Bill Maher, Ben Affleck, and Sam Harris, talk about the plight of Muslims and Islam. Bill Maher used Muslim women as ammunition to support his anti-Muslim sentiments. And while it was great that Ben Affleck pushed back and challenged him on those bigoted views, wouldn't it have been nice to hear from a Muslim woman herself? 7 years ago, I decided to take control of the narrative with one simple idea: sharing our love stories. My friend Aisha and I decided to collect the love stories of American Muslim women. We wanted to insert ourselves into a conversation that was happening without us. We wanted to deepen what it means to be a Muslim woman. And we wanted to help amplify stories that have been told for generations by Muslim women ourselves. And we wanted to smash the monolith. Why love stories? Because honestly, I'm a sucker for love stories. I grew up on a steady diet of Jane Austen, and I fancy myself a romantic comedy movie connoisseur. Love is a universal emotion, transcends the boundaries of ethnicity, race, and religion. We can all empathize with the flutter of hope and the pain of heartbreak. Through love stories, we see our hopes and desires reflected in the lives of others. We asked Muslim women to write about a transformative episode that defined their courtship or dating experience. We wanted real-life, true, and vulnerable stories. We wanted to know, did other factors such as spirituality, family, or community play a role in their search for love? We asked, and Muslim women answered. We received hundreds of submissions, 25 of which we published in a book, Love Insha'Allah, The Secret Love Lives of American Muslim Women. Insha'Allah is the Arabic word for God willing, and it encompasses the idea that it is only through the will of God that we attain what we seek in life. Love Insha'Allah, both the book and the accompanying website, is a snapshot of the American Muslim community, the most diverse Muslim community in the world. The women of Love Insha'Allah are old and young, from small towns and big cities across this country, and they represent the full spectrum of ethnicity, race, sect, sexual orientation, and theological perspective. Love Insha'Allah is a place where Orthodox, cultural, and secular Muslim women come together to share their lives. The stories and the women of Love Insha'Allah not only smash the monolith, they destroy it. There's a story of Aisha Saeed, a Pakistani-American Muslim woman who grew up with the understanding that her parents would arrange her marriage. She was engaged to Kashif after meeting him only twice and having known him for 6 weeks. But guess what? Unlike the stories we often hear of arranged marriages, Aisha and Kashif have been happily married for over 10 years. Then there's the story of Asila Imani. Asila writes about her conversion to Islam and 2 failed marriages. It turns out the 3rd time was a charm. Asila met Ali, her soulmate, who happened to actually be married. For the past 20 years, Asila has been in a happy polygamous marriage. Then there's the story of Angela Collins. Angela, blonde-haired, blue-eyed California girl and convert to Islam, writes about every woman's fantasy, meeting a mysterious stranger while traveling abroad. Angela writes about meeting Marcelo while on a 2-week vacation in South America and negotiating their relationship within the bounds of her faith. There are countless others: a stand-up comedian, an attorney, an engineer, a community organizer, a doctor, a filmmaker. The list goes on. What started off as a conversation between 2 friends grew into hundreds of women who have opened up and invited us to bear witness to their lives. Women who have shared their most intimate and vulnerable stories in an attempt to create a more nuanced and complete portrait of Muslim women. You might be wondering about my own love story. I married 15 years after my encounter with the checkout lady. And mine is a uniquely American 21st century tale. We met on Match.com. Me, the daughter of immigrants, Muslim immigrants from Sri Lanka, who grew up in a suburb of Los Angeles, married David, an African-American Muslim man from the south side of Chicago, whose grandparents converted to Islam in the 1960s. 6 months ago, David and I became parents. Our daughter, Layla, is half black, half Sri Lankan, American Muslim. Here's a picture of Layla and her great-grandma, Zahira. This picture represents 4 generations of Islam in America. So where are we now? Have things changed in the 7 years since we started this project? Indeed, they have. We have started to chip away at the monolith. And this is what we're working towards. And it's coming. One day soon, this will be the image that Google spits out when you type in Muslim women. A beautiful reflection of diverse images and faces. So the next time you're confronted with a monolith, ask yourself, what am I missing? Muslim women are speaking. Am I listening? Meanwhile, we'll keep telling our stories. We always have, we always will. Join me in smashing the monolith, one story at a time. Thank you.